You're listening to the Average Sports Guys podcast with Eddie and Marcus.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Yo, yo.
This is Eddie and Marcus. We're back for episode 17
17
of the Average Sports Guys and the Average Sports Guys podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, so as everybody knows, week 1 just wrapped up.
Week 1 of the NFL. Aren't you glad it's back, bro?
Yeah, man. All is right in the world.
All is right with the world.
It's
I feel whole again. Psych, just kidding, wife. You know, you make me whole. I'm just making a joke. It's football.
No, so, I mean, but that's a good thing is, like, it's actually live football.
It's live football,
because
man.
we were getting excited leading up to the draft.
Yeah.
The draft. Then after that is the rookie mini camps. Then it was OTAs. Then it was training camp. And then it was preseason. And then now it's the season. And I remember back then we were on, well, we started, episode 1 was right around the time we were gearing up for the NFL draft.
Yes,
so
sir.
From that time to this time, now granted, we've had weeks off in between for vacations and various other things.
And,
but no, I mean, it just feels good. So
feels great.
Episode 17.
Yes, sir.
Week 1 of the NFL. But before we get into all that, so we are going to do a little bit of a longer show today.
Yes, sir.
And depending on how well it turns out, we can continue, doing a slightly longer show. I've had several people ask for a little bit longer show, especially now that the season has started and it's easier for us to kind of go around the league.
Yeah, man.
But before all that, what have you been up to? I know you just had your anniversary.
Man, I spent
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My first year anniversary with my wife, Brittany Williams. We had a great time at Renfest, eating turkey legs. There was some jousting. We didn't really get to see that. There was people doing all kinds of sideshow acts. They had all kinds of stuff going on. It was a really good time. Hanging out with some friends. Met some of her coworkers. So she is transitioning into a new gig. So we met some of them, hung out with them.
Right, yeah, I remember you saying that.
It was a good time, really good time. So
that's good. So I've always wanted to go to the Ren Fest. I never have because I know going down 97, I always see that the exit's always so backed up.
It's so backed up, and we got there. We actually got information, a little inside information. Like, no, you have to get there before 9. So that's exactly what we did. We tailgated a little bit, hung out with some friends. If you check out my Facebook, and I got to throw it up on Instagram, I made a little bit of a joke where there's like these, these knights and warrior-looking guys walking around looking like Vikings and stuff. So I posted that picture like, what's in your wallet?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I don't do well in like big crowds. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I understand that. I respect it.
I mean, I can go to sporting events every now and then or whatever.
But it's controlled in that situation most of the time, unless you're in Philly.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get into that.
But no, that's good. And then, like I said, congratulations on the anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we celebrated Cameron's birthday.
Man, Cam.
Yeah, today is his actual birthday.
That's my dude.
Yeah, it's my stepson. He's 14.
He's a good kid. I like that kid.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was a lot. So that was actually Sunday.
Yes, sir.
I was kind of fearing, like, man, it's going to, like, screw up football. And then I kind of look like an asshole. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, I waited all year for, like, week 1.
Right.
And it's like your birthday party. It's not his actual birthday.
Right.
But anyway, so I found a way to make both work.
And that's what you got to do as a dad, man. Even make it work. That's what it do.
And
that's what's up.
Today, Brian started his first job, like actual job.
Oh, that's what's up. So good for Brian.
Yeah, so he's a senior this year. He's doing, I guess it's like a high school work study thing. So he's working with an electrical company or electrician company.
Right. Yeah, those partnerships that they run out of.
Yep. Yeah, because he only has class I think like a few days a week, and then he'll work on those days that he doesn't have class. So
good business.
It's good for him. He can start paying his car insurance.
Oh yeah, tax that man.
Yes.
Yeah, you bring in a check, we tax it out, you paying your bills, we introduce you to real life.
Right.
Real life issues. Let's go.
So, and then so his birthday is next week, so he'll finally be 18.
That's what's up.
But
hashtag Parenting 101, hashtag responsibility. Let's go.
Right. So, I mean, that's just pretty much been it the last, it's usually always that way, family time, but the last couple weeks have really been that. We have a surprise, which I'm pretty excited about, coming up towards the end of the month for Gabriella and her Mustang and all that stuff. I don't want to say it now in case,
she checks it out.
Yeah, because we're not supposed to, company told us not to really like put it out there until they send Chrissy the official, like, I guess it's a flyer or something. But
cool.
That'll be up in New Jersey again.
Yeah, man.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just been going on the weekends. That's about it. Like I said, just gearing up for week 1.
Yeah,
it's
man.
here. So let's just get into it.
Yes, sir.
I quickly wanted to go around the league as far as the scores. So I'll go through them and then
we'll comment.
Yeah. And well, so Thursday night's game, it was the Bears and Packers.
Man.
Packers won 10-3.
Yes, they did.
That to me was the most lackluster game of the week.
That was literally the most like unorganized, like problem-driven, penalty flag flying.
I mean,
craziest. It was hard to watch.
It was a slop
It's like
fest.
everybody was so excited about football, and then we're just sitting there like,
this is what you give us?
This is what you give us. Like literally, like dog, like no.
Right. So it's like I was watching that game trying to like have some sort of takeaway from it. It's like, is the Packers defense that good, or is the Bears offense that bad, or vice versa?
I think it's a combination of both.
Well, right. And so I will say, just watching like certain things within the Packers defense, I completely disrespected them coming into the season.
I think everybody disrespected them.
So,
like, dog, it's the Packers defense. Like, they don't do anything.
Right. And then you got rid of Clay Matthews, which has been not the Clay Matthews, that.
Yeah, he's on the back end of his career. He's about to retire
Right.
soon.
So, I don't know. I just thought, they were just going to get trashed.
Right.
So they showed much better, which I was like surprised to see, and I would say pleasantly surprised. And then I think the Bears defense is just as advertised.
Yeah, the Bears defense is what kept the Bears in the game. That offense is garbage. Like I don't even honestly, I can't even like 100% blame Trubisky in that situation, because as a coach and as an offensive coordination team, they didn't put him in the best position to win. The running game was getting stuffed a little bit in the beginning, but I think if they would have continued to run the ball, put it in Tyreek Cohen's hands, continue to put it into various running backs' hands, it would have been a better situation. Also, they didn't run a lot of play action.
I was just getting ready to say
they didn't like Trubisky is a play action quarterback. Like he has to work off of the run.
Right.
He can't sit in the pocket and just throw. He's not that dude. The arm strength isn't there. He can't make reads like that. In my opinion, I think that he should be almost like a part of an RPO system, or just do some type of ace situation where you're doing something off the run, and then I don't know. I just think that Nagy had a game plan and he just didn't adjust to anything.
From it.
It was really annoying.
Well, so my takeaway from that is, I do think Trubisky does have the arm. I don't think he has the pocket awareness.
There you go. That's a better way to say it.
To kind of see and feel and know what's going on. So to what you were saying, I think you, on the play action, you get him out on the edge.
Yes.
You get him in space because he is a threat of running. He
can run.
He's very athletic.
He's very athletic.
So they have to respect that. You crash in on him, somebody behind that linebacker,
which is usually
is open. You
Cohen,
hit a tight
Allen
end,
Robinson, somebody.
But yeah, I don't think they got their run game going.
No.
Nor did I feel like they really like committed to much of anything.
They didn't really. It was all honestly the game plan. It felt like it was just slapped together. Like there was no There was no cohesiveness. Like you couldn't really understand what they were trying to do. Like this dude was just like randomly picking a play off the play sheet.
Well, it's like when you play football, like pick up football, the quarterback turns around and draws on his hand. You go here.
That's exactly what it looked like.
And then they mess it up in the dirt and say, "Let's go."
Let's go.
But, yeah, I don't know. It was just sloppy. But I will say, watching Aaron Rodgers, I mean, the timing was off all the way around. They didn't get much going.
They didn't.
I feel like if Aaron Rodgers was on, that score would have been a whole lot
it would have
higher.
been 35 something.
Which is why I was saying, when you said a little bit of both, as far as was it the Bears defense that good or Packers offense that bad, and vice versa for the other team.
Right.
I think the Bears defense can get had. Well, I guess in that week, I'm sure, you go back, you watch film, you clean it up. I fully expect the Bears defense to be what the Bears defense is.
Oh, no, because they're legit.
And I don't want to, like, I'm not looking forward to seeing them in week 3.
Oh, no. That defense is, they're as advertised. Like, they're good.
Right.
Their pass rush is nasty. They got stud corners. The back end is legit. Yeah, you gotta come correct when you're playing the Bears.
Yeah, but all in all, that was my pick for the worst game of the week.
Oh, 100% the worst game of the week.
I'll give you my best game of the week once we get to it. So the other game we had Chiefs-Jags. The Chiefs beat the Jags 40-26. In that in that game, Nick Foles unfortunately had a broken clavicle.
Yeah.
He's out pretty much the rest of the season.
Yeah.
If
they do bring, it'll be super late, but I doubt they can do that.
I think it's way late in the season.
And they actually traded for the backup from the Steelers.
Yeah. So they got him coming in.
Yep.
Pretty much put their season in a coffin and float that down the river.
Yeah.
Not that I really thought or expected the Jags to go far. I thought they would be a little bit more competitive.
Definitely, and I think
that still remains to be seen.
And having Nick Foles definitely would help. But now he's out, and I wish him the best. That's a tough go.
Oh no, for sure.
Yep.
Falcons, Vikings 28, Falcons 12.
Yeah.
Very big disappointment out of the Falcons.
100% because they have Julio Jones, and I'm going to continue to say this until they change their game plan. When Kyle Shanahan made that dude the focal point of that offense, they were burning teams.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
No, yeah.
And ever since he left, they forget that man's even there, even though they just paid that man, like $66 guaranteed million?
Right.
So it's one of those things where if you're going to pay somebody like that, build your offense off of that man. Nobody can guard him. He's one of those unguardable receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not only that, but
they've only put up 12 points.
Yeah. I was surprised, though, that if the Vikings defense wasn't what it was and generated turnovers, I believe all 28 points were from the defensive turnovers.
Right. I get that. 100%.
Kirk Cousins was poo.
Yeah. Well, you already know his stat line when he plays top 10, contending teams. He's trash.
Yeah, he's going to wet the bed.
Yeah, so.
So with that, what's their coach? Is Mike Shermer?
Yeah, yeah.
So his thing, his game plan is play it safe. You got to see what Kirk Cousins does all year last year.
Right.
He clearly was frustrated because you can see the camera when it's on his face.
Yeah.
Run the ball, a little bit of play action.
Yeah, man.
Get the ball out in space and then roll.
Yep.
I think they'll come along a little bit more year 2 in this offense. Kirk Cousins has proven when he was here in Washington that he's, to me, above serviceable.
He is above
It's
serviceable.
just those crunch time, we need you now situations where he hasn't gotten over that hump.
Right.
So until that happens,
and like I said, they have a stud running back and a nice number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, but they have decent offensive pieces.
They're good. So I don't know. We'll see.
But again, that game would have been a lot tighter, a lot sloppier had their defense not come through and save the day.
There you go.
One of the biggest upsets to me, Titans-Browns. Titans 43, Browns 13. What in the hell?
To me, you know
doing?
what? To me, that wasn't an upset. To me, that was upcomings. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because everybody was hyping these Browns all the way up. They're like, you know what? These Browns are the truth. You know, they got Jarvis Landry. They got Odell.
Nick
Chubb. They got Nick Chubb. They got a stud backfield. This,
Baker
that,
Mayfield.
That defense is on point. They got stud corners. They went out and traded for Olivier Vernon.
Yeah.
They got Myles Garrett. They're going to kill. And I'm like, Herm Edwards, you have to you play to win the game, but
you
also
play to win the game.
But also in the same breath, you still have to play the game. They haven't played a game yet. And I also think Baker Mayfield shot himself in the foot. This dude's been talking mad reckless before he even played the game, talking about guys in college in the offseason, doing everything, in my opinion, except just focusing on the game plan.
Right.
And then he had the nerve to be a nut job and sit there and just talk like a jerk to the media after the game because he knew what it was.
Well, he's like,
that was coming straight for him.
We're just going to throw this one in the trash.
And then going back to the Titans, I don't care what anybody says. That defense is, within the past few years, has always been legit. Mm-hmm. They got good corners, great pass rush, and you really have to know what you're doing to be able to beat them.
Right.
And then, like I said, who's their running back? Derrick Henry?
Right.
That dude is like a 6'4" monster. He just trucks people.
And he still got wheels, too.
He still got wheels. So it's like, like I said,
went to the house.
I think they had all of those articles. They had a running feed throughout
so
the locker
so
room
much bulletin board
of
material.
everybody putting these guys up as the Super Bowl, favorites and all that. They said, okay, watch this.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Now, kudos to the Titans for putting those guys, out there and embarrassing them. I really appreciate that.
What's his name? Delaney Walker was like,
yeah,
pretty much
They are who we thought they were.
He said, y'all want to crown them.
Crown them. Yeah.
So
they are who we thought they were. I love that line.
No, it was funny.
It was great.
I will say I was shocked. I thought clearly they put up better points. Again,
I thought it would have been a closer game.
I still don't really expect a whole ton out of a lot of teams until week 3 or 4.
Right.
When, to me, week 1 and 2 is their preseason.
Right.
Because nobody plays in the preseason anymore. And this is part of the reason why as much as I don't like the injuries in preseason and things like that, I do feel it is necessary.
Yes, sir.
At least like we were texting, having those joint practices
helps.
I get it. You can't knock the quarterback's block off, but go against a different team, speed, different moves, things like that. You can get a chance to work in some different plays.
Yes, sir.
Try to build some chemistry with the wide receivers and all that stuff. But yeah, so the Browns got the doors blown off of them. We'll see how they bounce back. I believe they have the Monday night game for week 2. So prime time, everybody will get to see him, because I was pissed it wasn't on TV because I was looking on TV here in the DC, Maryland area. Go ahead.
Yeah, but last point, this also goes to the fact that Freddie Kitchens, this is his first year as the head coach. Mm-hmm. So this also, is a testament to his inexperience to adjust and make adjustments and put your players in the best position to win, period. So that's my last point.
Yep. Bills Jets upset. Bills came back. Bills came back right at the end. Shout out to my friend Megan. She's been a loyal Bills fan forever. She's from the Buffalo area. She was like, you got to talk about that on the next podcast. So I told her I would get it in.
Let's go.
17-16 over the Jets. I think it's all downhill for the Bills from here on out, but I don't know. But
we'll see. But at the end of the day, you have to respect the parking lot power bombs, because that's what they do when they tailgate. Full on WWE. I'm putting you through the table. We're gonna have a few brews, and then we're gonna watch the game afterwards. Let's go.
Right.
Good fan base out there. Shout out to Buffalo.
Ravens, Dolphins. Good God.
Lamar shut a lot of people up. Granted, it was the Dolphins.
Right.
It was the Dolphins.
It's still an NFL defense, man. It's still a game on your schedule, and you had to play it.
You have to play the game. But at the end of the day, dude still balled out and still threw like a champ. Like he proved a lot of people wrong. And I love this quote where he said, pretty good for a running back.
Right.
Pretty good for a running back. Yep. So I respected that.
Yeah, and to see a little bit of the game that I watched, it was on the same time the Redskins game was on. Yeah. Him standing tall in the pocket.
He did hire a quarterback guru over the summer. So.
And I thought the ball came out well. I mean, he's, to me, always thrown a pretty ball.
Okay.
But I mean, he dropped back, went through his progressions, saw the open guy, boom, got him the ball. And
I mean, 324 passing yards is no joke.
No.
Marquise Brown blowing the top off that defense.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, Ingram, they just balled out.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yep. So I'm interested to see how they do going forward when they play higher caliber opponents. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It is a dumpster fire in Miami. Players were reportedly calling their agents after that game. It was like, get me out of here.
I saw that.
I don't want to be a part of this
No
crap.
parts.
Right. So we'll see, how that goes. It's going to be an extremely long season for the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, sir.
America's favorite game, Washington Redskins against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, look.
Listen, so the Eagles win 32-27 in a comeback victory. They took it to the Washington Redskins in the second half.
Yeah. Here's my whole spiel on that thing. There was a couple of things that I was looking at. Number one, I can't lie. I started to get a little bit nervous just because of the fact that they haven't played as a cohesive unit all preseason.
Right.
So I think that first half was an adjustment period. For the most part, I mean, y'all had us 0-17 for a minute, and then it was 20-7 at half. But I also love the fact that we went into the locker room, we made adjustments, and we came out balling. I mean, granted, we did throw that bomb to Deshaun Jackson before the half. That was a big deal. Came out, got it to Alshon Jeffrey, another bomb to Deshaun Jackson. We started moving the ball. I think, we saw what the Redskins was throwing at us. We made adjustments. And another point that I wanted to make, I don't think there was any point watching that game where I saw Carson Wentz down, upset. Well, maybe not upset, but like disgruntled or somehow like out of place or not focused or anything. That's what I was looking for that game. I was like, is this dude going to come out and be confident, or is he going to be thinking about that knee? This dude was poised. He stood in the pocket. He made some good reads. He looked very confident, and that's what I was looking for out of this game. And especially with a comeback like that, that's a big deal. On the flip side, on the defense, I sincerely hate when we run picket fence. That's been the bane of this defense, and I'm pretty sure there's any fan of football, any Eagles fan will tell you the exact same thing. I hate when we're up, and then Jim Schwartz, well, I'm going to line up, 4 or 5 DBs along either the line to gain or just beyond the 50-yard line and catch everything in between and make a hit. Because if you have a good enough receiver or if you have a good enough running back, I don't care who's along that picket fence. They're going to pick up that first. And I think that's something we really have to look at, and we have to learn to keep the pressure on. There's a reason why we were coveted with, if not the best defensive line in the league, top 3. Get after the quarterback. Make better decisions.
Yeah. So we'll circle the wagon and come back to the Redskins-Eagles game.
Right.
Moving on, we have Rams-Panthers. Rams pull out the victory 30-27 over the Panthers. That was a closer game than I thought it was going to be. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Colts Chargers. Chargers win 30-24. Colts did have a chance to actually win that game. Didn't happen.
Right.
But Jacoby Brissett did do well.
Right.
Better than I thought he was.
He definitely did better than I thought. He definitely put up some numbers, so I respect to that, man.
Seahawks, Bengals, that looked like it was going to be a big upset. I picked the Seahawks all the way. They did win.
Right.
21-20.
There you go.
But Dalton and company made it a lot closer.
Right.
So they have a new coach up there, new system.
Right.
Might prove well. They, maybe they'll do well going forward. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys 35, Giants 17.
That was a blowout.
That game was over from the start.
We'll talk
so
about
for
that.
Everybody, well, let's just get into it now.
Okay, that's fine.
So for everybody thinking that Marcus and I are just complete Cowboys haters, I'll say this.
Bruh.
Dak had a great game.
He had
Zeke actually played better than I thought he would.
Yeah, he had 13 carries for 70-something. Yeah, 13 carries. Yeah, 53 yards. He played a little bit better than I thought he would.
But he was effective.
He was effective. Those were effective
me.
53 yards.
Right.
It was like shrugging people off, getting yards,
and
53 yards. Yeah.
And Dak was finding the open receiver. He was throwing guys open.
Bruh.
He was dropping the ball in the breadbasket. Gallup had a hell of a game.
Gallup, that dude had 158 yards receiving. That dude was just getting behind the DBs and just blowing stuff up. Like, he's got wheels.
Yep. And then Amari's Amari.
Yeah, 106 yards.
Randall
Cobb, 4 catches, 69.
Slot.
He's a definite upgrade over Cole Beasley.
Yep. He got Witten involved. Witten got a touchdown.
Yep.
I mean, Witten looked like somebody's grandpa.
Right.
Like, going into the end zone, I thought he was going to collapse and fall. But no, overall, it was a solid offensive performance by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I will give Dak his just due. Shortly after that game, Jerry Jones says the contract extension is imminent. We'll see how
because
that
he
plays
knows
out.
the further they get into the season, and if he continues to play like this,
if he plays well,
that 40 is going to turn into 45 real quick.
Right. And I heard some people around the league, even Carson Palmer said, Dak should take less money so they can have pieces around him, da-da-da-da-da. Hold up. The offense supposedly runs through Zeke anyway. Tell that guy to take a pay cut. It's not up to Dak to take a pay cut for that. Hell no. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Washington Redskins, we host them Sunday at 1.
And I hope you guys win.
We'll see how that goes. Like I said, when we get into the Redskins-Eagles wrap-up and where I believe we lost the game, I'll kind of give my prediction for week 2 if we have time.
Right.
And why I think the Redskins could really be in trouble against Dallas coming up next week. But anyway, Buccaneers, 49ers. 49ers win 31-17. Jimmy G didn't play very well, in my opinion.
Jimmy G.
Something's got to give and get going. I get it. He's rusty. He had the ACL injury, things like that. But
and I think he's in the same spot that Carson Wentz was in last year. I think he's thinking about his leg, and he's thinking about playing football way too much.
Right. So I think they showed well. The Buccaneers, to me, I thought would have been a little better. Again, It's week 1. I don't get too high or low on any of these teams except the Dolphins.
We already know they're
that's just a dumpster fire.
Right.
See, Lions-Cardinals ended in a tie. I'll just get into it now. That I did have that in my notes. Is it time that the NFL just ends the tie? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think they should play until somebody play until somebody wins. Field goal, whatever. Play until somebody wins. Because I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're past that.
Such like Pop Warner.
Yeah, that's
it's hot. Parents don't want to keep sitting outside.
No, play until somebody wins.
Juicy juices are getting warm.
Right.
Orange slices are not good anymore.
Right.
No, this is the NFL. You play until there's a winner.
Yeah.
Like
straight
up playoff style.
That's nonsense.
So that was a tie. I thought Murray did okay. I think he'll continue to grow.
I think he will. I'm just not a fan of that offense. Like I think it's gonna have a shorter shelf life than the Chet Kelly offense, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's what you see is what you get for the most
part.
Right.
I mean, I have high hopes for Murray.
I mean, I want him to do well.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I wish him the best.
Right.
So hopefully that situation changes and he can grow and get better. I did like that pass out on the flat to Fitzgerald. I mean, man. He threaded the ball twirling. He can get it. Kyler's going to be Kyler. He's going to make plays.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like the fact that it was a tie. All right. My game of the week was Saints-Texans. We were talking about this before we started the show.
Bro.
What a game.
Granted, I was out, doing, anniversary stuff and, handling business. But I caught that fourth quarter. And if that fourth quarter, like you were telling me before the show, is like the rest of that game, that has to be game of the week. Like, that was playoff football is what that was. It was a slugfest.
Well, here's the thing. The first half of the game was just kind of trotting along.
Right.
And I was like, it's going to just kind of be one of those things. Let me get ready for the Broncos-Raiders game later on. And I just was watching and said, okay. Second half, oh my God,
dude! It was literally like a heavyweight fight. Like it was one of those things where it's like the only reason why you and I, or I'm gonna speak for both of us, we didn't turn the channel is just because it was touchdown, then touchdown, then touchdown, and then game over. Field goal, game over. It was one of those things where Drew Brees looked like classic Drew Brees. Like, that dude is nowhere near retirement at this point.
Right. Well, so earlier in the game, I was like, man, is this it?
Yeah.
Because it just, like I said, there wasn't much on the offensive side either way. It just, I don't know. To me, it just wasn't. It just, I don't know. I just was like, here we go. But, man, what a game. Quarterback for Texans.
And Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes, sir.
My God.
That dude has a cannon.
I mean, laser accurate.
Cannon.
And he's got the juice to get down the field with his arm, with his legs. He's proven to be smart. I mean, watch out. I'm
going to go out on a limb and say this. He's going to be one of those regular season MVP candidates if he keeps throwing the ball like that.
Yeah.
That dude is accurate. He throws a beautiful deep ball. That Kenny Stills pickup was clutch.
Oh, my goodness.
Clutch.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to the people who say him, just like other people, are running quarterbacks, no. He scrambled around, eyes downfield, and boom, got it to the to receiver. So we'll be right back after this break. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, you're back with the Average Sports Guys.
Yo.
All right, so just to wrap up week one scores, the last game is the Broncos and Raiders.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of it. The game came on 10:15. We were on the East Coast. I have to get up and be an adult and go to work in the morning.
Like most.
So I watched, I think it's most of the first quarter.
Right.
I thought Derek Carr looked sharp.
Real sharp.
I was surprised at how efficient they executed on offense.
Right.
From what I heard as far as the whole game, so the score is a lot closer, 24-16. Oh, and I did not give the score for the Saints-Texans game. It ended up being 30-28.
Yeah.
Saints kicked the last second 58-yard field goal. Lutz. I mean,
that dude, pay that man. Get that man a T-bone steak.
Yeah. I put on Twitter yesterday. The Saints had tweeted that video out of him kicking it or whatever, and I said big nuts Lutz. I mean,
yeah, that's
what
a
kick. That would have been good from 63,
65, yes.
Right.
100%.
So, I mean, good for them. Like I said, the Saints, there was no way they weren't winning that game. Drew Brees
That's
was
Drew Brees, man.
Nah, Slim.
And that's one. And you know what? That's one of those games. Even last year on the playoffs, it's like, you know what? That's Drew Brees, man. That's just what it is.
Right.
Can't be mad.
So, like I said, that was my pick of the week for the best game.
Right.
Like
I agree.
said, Broncos, Raiders. We'll see how the Raiders do going forward.
Josh Jacobs looked nice.
Yeah.
Like that dude. That's a solid running back right there.
Yep. And I mean, I have hopes for their defense.
Yeah.
Especially, like I said, they got Jonathan Abram.
Let's go.
And some other guys there.
That defensive end is nice too.
Oh, shoot. I know you're talking about. I don't know why I can't think of his name. But yeah, so like I said, they win 24-16.
Right.
AB is no longer there.
God.
There was that crap with him and Mayock, I guess.
Calling people racial slurs and all that dumb
and all
stuff.
that ignorant crap. I mean, we had been saying all off season, especially since Hard Knocks started. I mean, AB is just an issue. He's a headache. Pushed and got himself released, and 2 seconds later ended up inking a deal with the Patriots. So,
and it's funny how quickly that happened.
Well, yeah, because I mean, let's just be real. Nobody's stupid.
Nobody's dumb.
His agent, his camp was like, hey, because they already knew the Patriots wanted to sign him back in March.
Right.
It didn't happen.
No.
So to me, it's no surprise if Belichick and company, somebody in that building, was saying, if AB happens to get released, then there'll be a spot here for him.
Right, and that information got passed along to AB, and I honestly think that he knew his stats weren't going to be the same unless he had one of those top echelon quarterbacks.
Right.
So with him, he's all about me, myself, and I, and his stats. So he felt like if he can find any and every way to get out of that organization, he would, and that's exactly what he did. It came because ultimately it came down to a Instagram post or a tweet where it was like, "Release me," and they did.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
So my take is this: I feel like Derek Carr would have featured AB, right, just like Roethlisberger
like
did.
any other quarterback.
The thing is, you're going to the New England Patriots. It's the Patriot way, right?
Right.
So Tom Brady doesn't give a damn. Whatever. If
Right.
you're open and he sees you,
you're getting the ball.
You're going to get the ball.
Mm.
And depending on how their game plan is, right? So AB, you just said it, is all about me,
right.
me. There, it's no me, it's the team.
It's we.
But you can see how they play. They all buy in, right? And those that stick out and it's all about me, I don't give a damn, you're gone.
Right.
See, here's the thing that I hope Antonio Brown realizes: the Patriots don't need you.
No, they don't.
They just won a Super Bowl last year. Were you on the team? No.
And they're actually before him. They were Super Bowl favorites. They are the proverbial Super Bowl favorites in the AFC.
So I think Vegas has them 101 now.
Right.
So, I mean, the thing is, he's setting himself up to win a championship,
right,
and get a massive contract somewhere else.
Right.
The Patriots are only going to pay you but so much.
Right.
So hopefully he can keep his head on straight and.
Right, because the only thing that cures nonsense like that is winning and actually showing up and doing something. But I also agree. I definitely refine that thought. I think it's my thought. I honestly think that it's probably about a ring at this point. And I also think, yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it's a ring at this point. And then also, I think another part of that is sticking it to the Steelers, because I think another part of that was he's on social media all the time. I mean, he has to have seen like all the memes and hearing stuff from the Steelers camp, like everybody's laughing at him because he's creating such an issue. And then you had the whole, the cryogenic, foot issue. And then he's an idiot with the helmet. And it's,
right.
He's probably hearing stuff from different camps, like this guy's an idiot, this, that, and the third. And what's the best way to stick it to your old team? Go to one of their arch rivals, get a ring, and then throw up the deuces. But also, I think he needs to be very careful with himself, because even after the Patriots, if he's looking for a big contract, who's going to want that headache?
Right.
I mean, people do research.
Right.
I mean, the Raiders obviously didn't, but legit teams do research.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, for what it's worth, I'm glad it's over in Oakland.
Right.
I mean, they were chanting in the stadium last night, FAB.
Right.
And so I don't know. I mean, that chapter's closed. We'll see how they play this week coming up. See how much he's involved. apparently he's supposed to get crash course on the offense with was it Josh McDaniels?
Right.
Is that his name? Daniels, something like that. Whoever.
Josh McDaniel is the OC. Yeah.
So
and then also something I also thought about with Tom Brady. He's a precision thrower.
Yeah.
So you also really have to be where you need to be, and Antonio Brown's a little bit of a fly by the seat of your pants type of guy. So we'll see how that works out as well.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, he had that freedom, it seemed like, in Pittsburgh.
He did.
Him and Ben Roethlisberger. You would see times. To me, it just looked like backyard football.
It was 100% backyard football.
You know, and some of that, I mean, like me listening to the Santana Moss show podcast, like you'll hear him say when he reflects back like on his career, there's times like he'll come back in the huddle and he'll tell the quarterback, or he's on the sideline telling the coach, like, Coach, they can't cover me. This is what they're doing.
Right.
I'm open.
Right.
Da, 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 da. So I mean, maybe AB was going back and telling Ben, and Ben's like, all right, cool.
I'm
this is what you do. Then I'm gonna look for you first. If you're open, boom, I'm gonna throw it.
There you go.
It may be that. I've seen that even with Tom Brady and Gronk, Edelman, whoever the hell's the pass catcher that year. So who knows? I mean, ultimately, if AB can get to practice on time, get to meetings on time, be a part of the team, and not about me.
And I guarantee you all that's in the contract.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't think he'll be there past week 6, but, I mean, I've been wrong a million times. This is why I'm sitting here in my spare bedroom instead of NFL
It's a nice studio. It's nice. It's a nice studio.
But, yeah, no. So, I don't know. I mean, I wish him well. The talent is unbelievable. It's unmatched. So you just hope that he can do that. So,
right.
Yeah. So let's get into the Skins Eagles game, the breakdown. So you were giving your thing. My take on it is this: I was surprised that the Skins came out of the gate the way they did.
You and everybody in the world, because I was like, oh, snap. Like, oh, okay, they can actually do something.
Right. And then my phone started blowing up with texts, and my buddies were texting me, like, is this real? Like, what's going on?
Dog, my father-in-law was on my
heels,
bro.
I'm sure.
If you guys don't know, my father-in-law is a diehard Skins fan, and it's like we go back and forth a little bit. It's a good time. He's a good man. Yeah,
so, I mean, Keenum came out. I mean, he was getting the ball around. I mean, he spread the ball around to, I think it was 7 different receivers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just blown away. He threw that ball to Vernon Davis, who hurdled your man.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was mad because he was on the sideline. I'm like, push it out.
If Sendejo didn't stand him back up, I think he was trying to catch his own balance, and in the process, he caught Vernon Davis, who just then kept going.
Right.
So I was like, whatever workout plan he's on, whatever meal plan he's on, Vernon Davis has been in leagues for 67 years.
That man is like Antonio Gates old, like that level, because that dude, is he still playing for the Chargers? Probably. Oh, we gotta Google that, because he's just one of those old head like tight end / receivers that catches everything that just won't retire.
Right. So. No, he'll get his AARP card before he retires.
That's what I'm saying. And he gets balls like this dude catches everything.
Right.
Mad respect.
Yeah. So once that happened, I was like, oh wow, okay. Darius Geis, he only had a few carries for, I don't know, what did he get, 12, 15 yards? It wasn't much, really.
Yeah, the biggest staple of our defense is our run defense. Like it's hard for teams to run against us, but you guys were definitely throwing.
Yeah, so
for the first half.
So I was like, okay, whatever. So we go up 17-0, I believe it was.
You were 17-0
before Deshaun scored, and like I was texting my other buddies, I'm like, D-Jax is D-Jax. Like he's gonna get his.
Right.
And I wasn't so much mad at that first one. Josh Norman was a step, behind him, like most people.
Right.
It was the second one.
It was blown coverage. There was no way he should have been that open. This dude went straight past your corner, and I think Carson Wentz was going through his reads, and he's like, oh, and just threw it because he was back there.
Here's the thing. So the safety over the top. He had two options.
Right.
He had Deshaun and then your other guy. Because I believe Deshaun came out of the slot.
He did come out of the slot.
So as he was going up the field, the safety is looking over, and he just went right by the corner. The corner started looking at your outside receiver, which was already covered.
Right.
And so now the safety had two options. You pick Deshaun or your other guy. I don't know. We could say it was Aguilar or somebody. I don't know who it was. But if he went that way, Deshaun is open, which is what happened. Or you go
with Deshaun and try and play catch up,
and your other man is open.
Yeah.
So either way, it's like when you're playing tic-tac-toe and okay, if I go here,
it's a lose-lose.
I'm going to win. If I go here, I'm going to win. So
right.
just go ahead. But so to me, that was just blown coverage. There was a lot of times where our defense was lost in the second half. Was extremely lost.
It was a communication thing. I saw some of that.
There was communication errors, but they were lost. They were not put in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of the defensive front, because Jonathan Allen got hurt. When he went out, it seemed like everything just went away. So I don't know if mentally those guys on the line were like, damn, he's out. What are we going to do? Hell no. You rotate Tim Settle in, and you rush.
Right.
You get upfield. You get after the quarterback. Carson Wentz was upright all game.
All game. And then also, I think, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Were able to run all over us.
That's what I was about to say, because Miles Sanders started getting busy running off tackle and even running over guard, and then Jordan Howard started getting busy.
Right.
And like even in the first half, I was getting upset because I'm like, why aren't they giving Jordan Howard the damn ball? But at the end of the day, what I think they're doing, I think they're running the same formula as our Super Bowl run, where they know what he can do, and they're trying to limit his carries for either the second half of most games towards the back end of the season, because they want fresh legs, because we have a stable of running backs.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're down, I'm just like, do this, hand that ball off. But yeah, overall, like I said, I like the in-game adjustments. I like Carson Wentz's confidence in the pocket. I think we do need to work on our secondary. As far as coverage and that picket fence nonsense. Our front four, granted, Malik Jackson, he is apparently out for the season. He does have that foot. What is it called? That
Lisfranc.
Yeah, that Lisfranc injury where it's actually like fractured, so he's definitely out for the season. I mean, we still have a decent enough front four. We'll still be fine. We still have Hassan Ridgeway, Timmy Jernigan, Fletcher Cox, who in my opinion during that game was not 100%.
No,
he wasn't himself. He will get there because it's all about game reps and getting into game shape. He still had a good game, but he wasn't Fletcher Cox. And then also, like I said, working on that secondary a little bit.
Yeah, and I knew, because it's typical Skins, especially under Jay Gruden, where in-game adjustments are just not his thing. I'm thinking, okay, well, first of all, once you get out of those first 15 scripted plays,
right?
It's almost like nothing else works at that point.
You did text me that, yeah.
Or let's just say the run game's working, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll get away from it and start passing or whatever. And it's just like, you want to stay balanced, that's fine. The game was still close. It, all the way up until the end we lost, but you guys didn't blow us out or anything like that. And like I said, our defense, to me at this point, Minuski has to go. I mean, enough is enough. You have Rob Ryan. Now, people can pick nits with the Ryan brothers all they want.
They know defense.
I get it. They're very aggressive with defense.
I don't
and
care.
all
They
that
know
stuff.
defense.
Here's my thing. You go back when he was the defensive coordinator in Buffalo.
Yeah.
They had a good defense.
They had a
when
good
he was
defense.
in New Orleans, they had a good defense.
Good defense.
Here's where I'm at. What you're doing with the coaching staff that you have now, or the coordinator you have now, is embarrassing.
Right.
DJ Swearinger last year was jumping up and down.
That dude's a stud.
Saying we're in the wrong position. We're out of position all the time. The plays that are being called, the coverages that are being called, is making us look stupid.
Right.
Okay, they didn't want to hear it. Now DJ is labeled as a problem because he went on the Grant and Danny show on 106.7 The Fan every Monday after the game.
Right.
And he was honest. And I think anybody in the media can appreciate that. Now, it doesn't always go in the player's favor, but he was still honest. And, people in Ashburn didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up getting cut. Was it last 2 games of
It
the season?
was the last 2 games of the season because
I
think I was right before we played this, but whatever. Yeah,
right. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he's a good player.
He's a good player.
He knew what the hell he was talking about.
And yeah, go ahead.
And so my thing is, it's like, even back then, people were saying, get rid of Minuski. This offseason, they had people coming in to interview for the job. His ass was sitting in the room while somebody's interviewing basically for his job.
That's crazy.
The only reason he was still there is because the people they wanted didn't want the job because, I'm sorry, diehard Redskins fan, who the hell wants to go to that dysfunctional organization? Not only that, you don't know the stability of, is Jay Gruden going to be here longer than a year? So am I going to be here longer than a year?
Right, because that man is on the hot seat right now.
Well, right. And so I'm just like, at this point, you got Rob Ryan here.
Yes.
He's done it before.
Yes.
He's got dogs on the front line.
I'll always say
linebacking core is decent.
Wow, yeah.
And so he can scheme up something exotic. We run the most vanilla stuff in the league, and it's so annoying, but you have the personnel to show better than that.
And here's my point. Like, and one thing over the past few years that I've always given credit when it came to the Redskins is your defense. You guys have ballers on defense. Your secondary
may not always be all at the same time.
Not always be all at the same time, but I'm talking as far as talent. Your
right.
secondary is legit. Your front four is legit. Your linebackers are legit. And I think what you said is exactly right. I think that the players are frustrated because they're grown men. They know what's going to work for them for that defense.
Right.
And the fact that they're raising concerns and saying, hey, we want to play this way, we want to use this coverage, and then you're ignoring it, then why the hell am I here?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think that you're right. They do need to, I guess, fire your defensive coordinator, put in Rob Ryan and whatnot.
I'm just over it, bro.
It's one of the it's frustrating because I've been there because that's just like when we
Tom Sula put him
right,
in there.
That's like when we had Dominique Rodgers-Kamari, Asante Samuel, Nnamdi Asomugha, all cover corners. Right, we're playing zone all season. What happened? We got torched.
I feel like all those DBs you just named have been or are on our team. We have Rodgers-Kamari.
Yeah.
We had. I believe
did
we
you guys
had,
have Nnamdi?
I believe we did.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, we have literally had some of everybody.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It may not all have been at the same time, but no. So
yeah,
as far as defense, my defensive standouts, Cole Holcomb.
Yeah.
This guy Adam that I follow on Twitter, I wanted him to come on the show. We got to figure out how to make that work.
Make that happen.
Was he right for? It's the Burgundy and Gold report. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
His film breakdown is good. And he actually profiled this kid, towards the end of camp.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
He was in on tackles. He had tackles for loss. I think he's going to be a good piece of the linebacking core.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Montez Sweat, I would have hoped to have seen more from him.
Right.
But it's like I was telling you a couple weeks ago, I think that's going to come with reps.
I think that's exactly what it is.
A live game. He got a little bit of preseason time just like everybody else. But I think he'll figure that part of it out. Kerrigan was a non-factor.
Yeah.
That has to change.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Ryan Anderson, come off the edge a little bit. He's more of a run stuffer to me than he is actually getting to the quarterback. But on offense, Terry McLaurin, rookie out of Ohio State, that kid can ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can ball.
And it was one of those things where I was thinking, oh, not again. Not with the first pass that he caught for that touchdown where he burned us, but the second one. If Case Keenum was any other quarterback that can somewhat throw an accurate deep ball, that would have been a touchdown.
Right.
It just so happens that the deep ball is just not his forte, but that dude's got wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something to be excited about.
Yeah. And so I was pissed where Keenum just missed.
Literally, it was like a half yard, maybe 6 inches, maybe. Like, it was just that close.
Well, because he hit him on that bomb for that first touchdown.
Yeah, she did.
And, I mean, he missed him by just a little bit because you can see Case Keenum was like,
yeah.
Both of them were. So, but I mean, overall, like, I'm extremely encouraged. I would have liked to have seen Trey Quinn get worked in a little bit earlier in the game. Yeah. It's almost like he was on timeout for the first 3 quarters, even though I believe he played, was it like 65 of the 67 offensive snaps, something like that. So I want to see him get a little bit more involved. Hopefully Jordan Reed can clear concussion protocol and he's ready to go against Dallas.
Right, and that was unfortunate. I was just like, because that's I mean, even though I'm an Eagles fan, I do like Jordan Reed a lot as a player. I think he's really good. He has great hands. He's just always getting hit, hurt, concussion protocol, something with his legs, something.
Well,
it's
right.
sad.
Yeah, and that's what's like, I was pissed because that guy from Atlanta, I mean, just full on launched right into his head. It's a preseason game, bro.
It's a
like,
preseason game. Like,
your man already had him wrapped up.
I was like,
ground.
come on, dude.
And it's stuff like that. So that's his 7th concussion. So I am beyond worried. We'll kind of see how that plays out. Hopefully Vernon Davis can continue to.
That man got like 3 years left on like for real. That man catches everything.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. But anyway, Harmon another rookie receiver from North Carolina, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did well.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can figure out how to get him more involved. To me, I looked at him when they drafted him as a red zone guy. So we didn't really spend a lot of time in the red zone anyway. So, like I said, I was encouraged by our receiving core because I know around the league, a lot of the national media, they're saying, oh, this is the worst receiving core in the league, this and that. All because, I mean, Trey Quinn only had, I think, 3 NFL games as far as one of our wide receivers. And then Paul Richardson coming from Seattle, and he played a few games with us last year before season-ending shoulder surgery. Paul Richardson actually did okay. So, like I said, I was encouraged by a lot because, like I said, Keenum, he saw the field, saw the players, got the ball out.
Right.
I think he only got sacked once.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's encouraging. The offensive line, to me, they get a game ball because I completely was just going to give them gassers all year. Donald Penn, I thought, did well.
You know what? They did pretty well for that first half. Like, they did what they were supposed to do.
Right. Morgan Moses keeps holding and killing drives. I'm over that.
That was real bad. Like, I kind of felt bad at that point. I'm just like, I mean, I get it with a front four and all that, but at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta pass block better. It's gotta clean.
I mean,
get cleaned up. Yeah.
Even if and Vernon Davis isn't that great of a blocker, but you bring him in, hopefully he can chip a little better or hold a little better. You know, I mean, we got to do something. Bottom line, like, there's reports that Trent is like close to coming back. It's 50-50.
I heard that today. They're like, he needs
to be 100%. Trent, just come back already. My God. But no, I mean, again, overall, I was encouraged. To me, outside of the players getting penalties, I feel like our coaching staff did not put us in the best situation.
Right.
I feel like offensively, they took our foot off the gas. You never do that.
Especially against a team like the Eagles. You just don't want to do that. We just have too many weapons.
First of all, let's just say y'all sucked. It doesn't matter. It's a divisional game.
It doesn't even matter because you're right. It is a divisional game. Those games matter more than most. And if you have your foot on our throat, especially if we're not gelled yet on either side of the ball,
right?
That's how you win the game.
And to me, I was like, I want to play you guys early because
of that. Because you knew we had nobody playing.
Because I even text you that I was like, they're just not gelled together.
Right.
So real quick, and I'm going to get off the Skins. As far as injuries, Darius Geis, there's a meniscus issue. He's out, definitely out next week. Could be out or could be back against Chicago. Some reports say he's out 4 weeks. I don't know.
Right.
It ain't looking good. Jay Gruden disrespected AP by making him inactive.
Oh, that's what he did. Oh, man, I wanted to talk about that so bad.
He's
Dude,
a Pro Bowl
if you would have
back.
ran him, that game might have been over. Because that dude last year, I will never forget this. We had y'all on the half-yard line. We ran wide 9. That dude gashed us for what, like 99-ish?
Oh, yeah, because that was Mark Sanchez's first play. All he had to do
exactly.
was
hand off.
And AP was gone.
Yeah.
But even if you don't intend or game plan him, he saved jobs.
He 100% saved jobs.
He was the offense.
That man's still a tank.
Over 1,000 yards.
Run him.
When he's supposed to be washed up. He won the Redskins offensive player
of the year, right?
Bro, you don't do that. And then he was very snarky, and him meaning Jay Gruden was very snarky in the press conference and all that crap.
Through Darius Geis. What?
Yeah, he's gonna get the mother load of the carries unless we're gonna run the ball 55 times.
What?
In an I formation, blah blah blah. Now look at his dumbass because now AP has to play
and
because Darius is out.
And that's another check mark for getting him the hell out of there because that's one of those things where, when you have 2 stud running backs like that, you run them. You run the offense through them.
Well, the thing is, there's reports that came out, EB and Lurch from the Junkies, Sports Junkies, 106.7 The Fan in the morning.
Yeah.
They reported that during cutdowns, Jay Gruden wanted to cut AP.
What?
Other people wanted to keep him. I don't know whether that's true or not, right?
You never know.
It's not my report. I'm just saying.
Snyder might have came down and said, "Dead that."
Well, here's the thing, and so that was Jay's way to stick it to the front office.
Oh,
saying,
by
okay,
sitting him on the bench. Wow,
you want me to
true.
keep him? He's part of my 53. His ass ain't playing. He can sit over here in this fresh white shirt and some slides.
That's crazy.
Right.
So
and
that's
Again,
dysfunction.
now look
dysfunction.
at it. He's got to play him.
They got to play him.
He's got to play him. So, I mean, we'll see how it is.
My only.
Oh, hold on. Let me finish the injury report.
Yeah, you're good.
Like I said, Jonathan Allen, there was a knee issue.
Yep.
Could be out or sprained knee, week to week, as they say. I don't expect him to play next week, or against the Cowboys, which kind of sucks. But we'll see how that is. Cuts real quick. We did cut Greg Stroman today. That was first reported by Ben Standig. He writes for The Athletic. Jimmy Moreland, the kid's a baller. He's kind of leapfrogged Greg Stroman on the depth chart. Stroman's kind of been hurt off and on.
Yep.
We did cut tight end J.P. Holtz. We signed defensive lineman T.Y. McGill, and we signed the cornerback Simeon Thomas from the Seattle practice squad. He was a 6th-round pick by the Browns in 2018, so they cut him. He's got size and length, so maybe that's what they're hoping for, and good speed. So, all right, that's it for me for the Redskins, so we can keep going.
Yeah, so my last few points about the Eagles. Deshaun Jackson, what broken finger? I had people coming through telling me, like, yeah, Deshaun Jackson, broken finger. He's not going to do nothing, this, that, and the third. Even some Eagles fans, like, yeah, broken finger. He's always injured. What broken finger?
Right.
Exactly. He's still got burner. He's still going to be a professional. He's still going to catch the ball. Those of you who are worried about Brandon Brooks, that was a pitch count thing. They put in Vaitai. Yeah, they put in Vaitai at right guard just for that reason, because they didn't want to rush him back too much. They wanted to get, some game reps and call it a day. Overall, everybody else is healthy. Outside of, like I mentioned earlier, Malik Jackson, he's done for the season. I'm really excited. Rookies did very well. Miles Sanders, amazing. Even JJ, he did get some reps. He only blocked. He did draw a penalty. But I think they're going to work them. We'll work JJ more into the fold. Miles Sanders in space is dangerous. That dude's a problem. I think they should have gave the ball to Jordan Howard more. But like I said,
they should have got Ertz.
Oh, Ertz more involved. Yeah,
more involved early.
Yeah, he had like 6-7 catches. But
but he didn't beat us.
He didn't beat you. It was more or less Deshaun Jackson.
It was all Deshaun.
It was Deshaun Jackson.
And then it was the run game to sustain those drives. You guys, we had the ball for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was the run game. It was Deshaun Jackson. It was Alshon Jeffrey, who had 2 touchdowns. One of them was actually a run because they threw the ball behind. Carson Wentz threw the ball behind him, so they counted it as a run, like a lateral type situation. But overall, on to these Falcons, in which I think we are going to take them.
You guys are playing in Atlanta, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so the Eagles have the Falcons, Redskins, we have the Cowboys.
Yep.
It's at home. If you're in the D.C. area, go to the game. I know nobody likes Dan Snyder or whatever, but, I mean, it makes a difference, like, when it's not the other team in the stadium and it's this one. Having said that, I'll be on my couch watching my curved 4K TV because a lot has to change for me to go.
There you go.
But no, I mean, my wife and I, we do try to get to a few games.
Right.
So it just, I completely forgot that the Dallas game was this early in the season because I would like to go, and we try to go to one away game.
Yeah.
But real quick, do you want to do it next show or this show? Super Bowl predictions.
We'll do that next show.
All right, so we'll open the show next week with that Super Bowl predictions. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll put these helmets; they'll be up here. I'll get the shelf, and then throughout the season, in the order of the division is to be the order of the helmets. I think that'll be pretty fun.
Yep.
And then you came up with some other things for some top 10 stuff.
Yep.
So more to come. Again, thanks for supporting. Thanks for subscribing.
Check us out.
If you haven't, you could do that like now.
Yeah. AverageSportsGuys.com.
Just below, it's a little red
subscribe button.
Subscribe button. Be sure to hit website AverageSportsGuys.com. Like I said, we used to give out all the different links to social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. All that is on there. Again, we want to hear from you. Whatever you want to hear, you know what I mean? If you have any questions you want it read, answered during the show, let us know. We appreciate that. And like I said, thanks for tuning in this week, episode 17, Average Sports Guys Podcast.